Who are you and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Ed Cappabianca, and I'm the CEO of Ingenion Medical. We're a small medical device company focused on the urology space.
What part of it?
Well, you can see a little picture up there. We've developed a catheter device for both the retention and the next phase is the incontinence markets, where what we have is the only valved catheter that will be on the market to allow a patient to actually perform, basically go to the bathroom more naturally without bags, and most importantly, it will also reduce the amount of urinary tract infections caused by the catheters.
How?
Because what we have is an indwelling catheter for up to a month, which the valve will basically avoid the need for any external bags, which is a big source of UTIs. And because it's removed on a monthly basis or more frequently if you want, won't have the same incidence of UTIs.
So is the big concept, hey everybody, we have a catheter that stays indwelling for a month?
No, the big difference is the valve, which basically allows a patient to remotely control when they go to the loo.
Remotely control?
Yes. Sort of, but actually in a slightly closer to the anatomy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Mercifully, I'm not a patient. Can you help us understand what the alternative is today?
So, actually, I think it's interesting the history of the company. The company was founded by the inventor and his brother-in-law. The inventor is a guy who graduated from MIT, was on holiday, and unfortunately he fell down a cliff, causing him to become a paraplegic. And he was catheterizing himself up to 6 times a day, which he found really inconvenient. And then he remembered, wait a minute, I went to MIT. I can fix this. I'm an engineer. And he actually developed something, they patented it, and he brought data to the FDA. And the FDA said, where'd you get this data? He says, well, I used it on myself. And they said, that's really not a good way to go. So he was unencumbered, shall we say, by an awful lot of the knowledge that sits here in this room today. Yeah. So the company has gone through a few different phases and is today a private UK-registered company. We've actually got, in fact, this first generation device, again, to some of the comments that were made earlier, is a CE mark device, but that does not mean that this device is generating any revenue. But what you can see, hopefully here, we can pass this around so people can see, the valve there is not something you'd actually want to see indwelling in your anatomy for 28 days.
I wouldn't want to see it at all.
But if you need it, you need it.
Yeah.
And today, the valve consists of a tiny ball bearing and an equally small washer device. And that's how the valve actually stays closed in its natural state. And then an external magnet in the same vicinity attracts the magnetic ball bearing and opens the valve.
You presently you're not cleared for use yet, or you are?
That device technically, yes, is cleared for use.
Technically?
Technically, yes, and has been placed into patients. But from those experiences, we found that it doesn't perform well. And that's basically an awful lot of the learning of that has been developed into these devices, which have only just come back to us from our contract manufacturer in the, we can pass that one down that side. Just just before Christmas. So these devices are going through their latest testing in terms of manufacturing.
That first thing
quality.
Was huge. You're saying that...
Well, that first one actually includes the introducer device.
Oh, I see. And
okay.
That hasn't changed.
The introducer device, again, has been modified and improved, but so there have been a number of different improvements that have been put in place.
Is your greatest need right now fundraising, I imagine?
Yes. We're currently raising $5 million US, which we believe, again, our budget says that we only need $2.5 million, but having done this sort of thing a couple of times before, I know that the safest thing to do is broadly just double how much you need. because you know things are going to either take longer or cost more than you currently expect.
I think that there will be a market for that. Ed, thank you very much.
Thank you.